Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/SIBSB. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Until I met my new best friend, all of my boys say I'm tripping. When they call, I'm not answering. They always get my voicemail.
Alex, are we rolling? We are rolling. Welcome to another episode of Sorry I've Been So Busy. This is the podcast where we talk to very busy people about what they're busy with. I'm not even going to say the second part because we're talking to a guy today who is so busy right now, so hot. We're very excited to have him on. He's coming in just a few minutes. I'm here with Andrew Goldstein.
At AngeGold on Twitter, ANGEGOLD. I'm less hot.
Well, you know, don't sell yourself short. You're a busy guy.
I am very busy lately.
Scheduling, yeah.
But our guest specifically is on a hot streak like we've never seen before.
And producer Alex is here. He's very busy, very stressed. Got an ulcer.
These podcasts are giving him an ulcer.
These podcasts are giving me an ulcer. So he actually told us it's an old... He said urban legend. I think he meant wives' tale. There's nothing urban about the idea.
Urban Dictionary.
Yes. It's very... He has an ulcer, but apparently it's not stress-related.
The only thing that could make Alex more Jewy is an ulcer.
Yes, that's true. He nailed it.
He has Jerry Seinfeld cookies
some adult braces
in his kitchen.
Would help. We're here at Showbiz Studios, we should say. ShowbizStudios.com. Check out the Showbiz Studios YouTube page, the Facebook page, the Twitter. They got a lot of great podcasts here. David Philbin Show, Last Things First with Sean McCarthy, the Defend Your Movie, the Carson Podcast, Fat Pig with Jess Curson. Let's see how many more I can name off the top of my head without trying.
This is like a HQ game.
Emma Willman and
Mateo
have a podcast called
In the Closet.
In the Closet. Thought Spiral, Andy Kindler, J. Elvis Weinstein. I think I'm close to getting them all. There might be one or two I forgot.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, Matt. You're on a hot streak.
I am on a hot streak, yes. And please go to our Facebook page, our Twitter at Busy Podcast, and rate and review us on iTunes. Give us 5 stars, at the very least 4. Give us one. Just throw your name on there.
Yeah.
And
unsubscribe to the podcast and then resubscribe. That also helps.
Does it? Actually,
that's a new thing I keep hearing.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Unsubscribe, resubscribe, as many times as you want.
Yeah, that's like the Ferris Bueller thing of running the car in reverse so that you don't get the miles. And what's the other thing people do? Oh, yeah. I've never figured out not putting the link in the Facebook status. You have to put it in the comments. Do you know that one?
It's so stupid. Yeah. Here's a novel idea. How about you just listen to the podcast?
There you go. That's great. That would be nice. And speaking of which, by the way, we're only a few days away from our first live episode.
This is very exciting.
Yes. Do you have the information about the live episode?
I do. I have it up. So March 9th, which is Friday at 6 p.m. at The Stand in New York City, the Stand Comedy Club and Restaurant. We are celebrating our 100th episode with a live show. Me and Matt will be there live, and we have very special guests, the Bay Ridge Boys themselves. They have a very funny web series, and both individually, they're very hilarious stand-up comedians.
Yeah.
Chris DiStefano and Giannis Pappas, Chrissy D and Yanni P are coming on the show. It's going to be hilarious. We'll have some special surprises, some past guests, et cetera, et cetera. This is March 9th, Friday night, 6 p.m. at The Stand. You can get tickets at thestandnyc.ticketfly.com. Search for our event.
And we are allowed to say now, enter code BUSY for free tickets.
Free tickets. What's better than that? 6 o'clock on a Friday, pre-Shabbos.
Yeah, knock it out. Knock it out pre-Shabbos. There you go. Cool, thank you. So
it's going to be a good time. Come on out.
Please come on out. We're very excited.
We'd love to thank you for your support in person.
Yeah. All right, we have our guest raring to go, but before that, I just wanted
Matt, what's going on? We haven't seen each other in a minute.
We have not. It's been a few weeks. I had a couple.
Do you have an ulcer?
I do not. No,
Thank
it's amazing that I don't. Considering I had a couple weeks off work, and I decided to take my son.
You went to Arizona.
To Arizona for a few days to visit my parents who are wintering out there. We went by ourselves. very a little nervous about it because I've obviously spent quite a bit of time alone with him. I've never done quite this much traveling.
Yeah,
by
the
myself
solo father-son trip.
Yes. Honestly, I picked the perfect time to break it out in the repertoire because he's now just will watch cartoons endlessly. And, I think a lot of people are like this. We have rules about screen time in the house. We try to limit it. But when you're
all
on
out
the go,
the window
all
when
out
you're on
the
an
window.
airplane.
Yeah. So I was kind of hoping that he would watch some
MSNBC.
No, that we would be able to watch some cartoons.
He loves
together.
Ari Melber. He's told me that.
I was hoping that we would I was thinking if he's into Toy Story.
Oh yeah,
or
get through it.
Or a thing like that,
Yeah.
or even a classic Pinocchio or something. I was like, hey, I'll watch it with you. We can watch it together. Only wants to watch things that are completely uninteresting to me. Thomas the Tank Engine and
Old Full House episodes.
No, oh boy, that would be my nightmare. But
Sci-fi.
he pretty much kept it together the whole flight.
He had no freakouts.
No freakouts. We go old school, by the way. We're the last people on Earth, my wife and I, who do not own a tablet.
Wow.
So we have a laptop, and I literally got DVDs out of the library.
Wow.
It almost made it more fun for him. He got to pick out his DVDs
And slide them in.
Yeah, that's the fun part. And he seemed to enjoy it. He was fine. Honestly, it's so funny. We spent 4 days together. My parents were there, obviously, too. He, let me do everything. Did not express that he missed his mother at all. It would FaceTime with her, but was not crying. And then as soon as we got home, could not be less interested in me.
Right.
Just wants to hang out with his mother.
Look, he's a
Doesn't let
smart
me do
kid. He
anything.
understands his environment.
He knows where the bread is buttered.
Yeah.
Yes. But it's just so funny that we had a lovely trip, and then ever since we've returned, he's
like a poker dealer.
Yeah.
I'm out. Or a
yeah,
blackjack
exactly.
dealer.
Yeah. But it was a fun time, and both trips because I was like, is he going to nap? It's a long flight. Both trips stayed awake the whole flight and then passed out on touchdown, when the wheels touched down.
That'll be fun when he's 6 or 7 or 8 and you can tell him about the trip and show him pictures of the trip.
I think so.
We went to Arizona, just me and you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. But now it's funny where it's he'll be like, I'll be like, hey, we're going to go to this thing on Saturday. He'll be like, Mommy's coming, right? I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Because
Wants to make sure it's a family event. Yeah. So anyway, I made through it. I told some people it was the closest probably I'll ever come to running a triathlon or climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. You see people's Instagram. No, I don't mean I don't know how single parents do it. I
Yeah.
guess some of them are more qualified.
well, I like that you're bringing DVDs back.
Yeah.
Oscar screeners with your 3-year-old.
Yeah, right? Well, if they're
He's like, I don't know about Shape of Water so much.
Yeah, it's
The Fish Man scared me.
Is this a sequel to Finding Nemo? Yeah. Anyway, so that was fun. That's what I've been up to.
The Thread movie. Graham's just
Phantom Thread.
Phantom
Not into it.
Thread.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back with our guest. For you, the listeners of Sorry I've Been So Busy, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. You can download any book you want. You could download Jensen Karp's book, Kanye West Owes Me $300, his great memoir about being a white teen rapper. We had Jensen on the podcast to talk about his book, and it was awesome, and he's a super interesting guy, so check that out. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/SIBSB. Again, that's audibletrial.com/SIBSB for your free audiobook. All right, we're back with our guest. Very excited to have this guy on, a guy that I've known for a long time. And
since the Ochi's Lounge days.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, you want me to? Is this?
Should we run down the
Let's
nicknames?
Let's introduce him properly, Andrew. Who are we here with?
Sitting before us in the Showbiz Studios, none other than the Quiz Daddy himself, Quizzy McGuire, Quiz Khalifa, Host Malone, Trap Trebek, Host with the Hollow French Toast, Meshuggah Martindale, Semitic Sajak, Shtick Cabot, Lil Quizzy Vert, Lag Daddy, Quiz Stofferson, Quiz Esther, which is timely because it's Purim. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of HQ and a very, very funny man, Scott Rogowsky, in the house.
Yeah. Hello. Did you come up with all these yourself, or are these for other people?
It's a blur now because now I do get people sending me stuff on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So Trap Trebek was definitely an OG. Rogowsky is
right.
Hollow French Toast. Quiz Daddy was definitely someone on the internet. I don't want to call myself a daddy.
Yeah.
But that's a big thing now with
Yeah.
these kids.
Oh, they love it.
They love the daddy.
Yeah.
And it's a little disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're an actual daddy.
I'm an actual daddy.
How do you feel about this? The co-opting of the daddy.
I'm fine with my kid calling me daddy. I don't want other people.
You don't want middle school boys and girls.
I don't want to be the daddy.
I only like when a thick Spanish woman calls me daddy.
Right.
Yeah.
Quiz Marquee.
Quiz Marquee, that's been used. Yeah, Quiz Marquee. I mean, pretty much, I've pretty much exhausted the
Fox Quiznos channel.
Ooh, that one hasn't been done.
Quiznos.
Here you go. Here's a Philly one. Quiz Wit.
Quiz Wit.
Yeah.
Quiz Wit out. Yeah.
Quiz Wit. Quiz Wit out.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, man. It's certainly been quite a year for you.
Yeah.
Half
a year.
We were saying,
Is that it?
It's really been since September.
Yeah.
Then it's been this level. Actually, November, December even.
We're getting you on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Well, we were saying before we started rolling that you and I specifically are so adjacently connected, but have never really interfaced.
I know. The whole point is to catch up with people you haven't talked to in a while, and this is good because we haven't talked in about 33 years.
Exactly.
33 years. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's how old you are.
That's how old I am.
How do you guys? Because I can talk about how I know Scott, but how are you adjacently related?
I mean, first of all, you worked, and we'll get to it, Crowd Goes Wild, where we knew basically all the same people.
Yes.
We'll get to that because I want to hear your best Regis Philbin story.
boy.
And then my wife has a couple.
My wife.
My
You
wife.
have to say it like that.
I know. Has a few friends who went on a couple dates with you. And we'll get into that.
I'm connected to pretty much everyone in Manhattan through someone that I've dated.
Yeah, well, you're quite the prolific dater, or at least you used to be.
Yeah.
And look, I
only
had a
more
good
so now.
I had a good 5-year run, so I'm no judgment.
Yeah.
And so just things like that, like TV, comedy, the Jewish dating world. We intersect, and then obviously we met Alex, and then he's just like, oh yeah, I've been working with Scott on on your show for so long.
Open carry.
I don't
Running Late.
I don't
Running
remember.
Late. Sorry,
how,
I'm working on a show called Open Late. That's why.
how long's Running Late been going on?
That's been going on since October 2011. So
what was the show you used to do?
12 Angry Mascots.
12 Angry
which
Mascots.
You appeared
because
on.
that's how I first met.
That's how I met Julia Alexandria, who I ended up working with after the fact.
Really?
Yeah, I went to that one show at UCB.
Okay, so you were this guy. I don't know when you first moved to New York, but when I was doing comedy, living in New York, the first time. Out there kind of pounding the pavement. You were this guy.
Premium blend gears.
You kind of came out of nowhere. I wouldn't necessarily see you. I would occasionally see you at shows, but not that often. And then all of a sudden, there's this guy. And it's he hosts a show at a comedy club, and he got Darrell Revis as a guest.
Yeah.
It's wait, how did that happen? It's you would have these insane live. So all right. So how did this all start?
So Matt, you are okay. I will say this. I was a comedy fan, obviously, growing up, and then into college. I didn't start doing stand until sophomore year, but I had seen your Premium Blend. This is Johns Hopkins.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
But I'd seen your stuff on TV as I was watching, and I was like, oh man, this guy, he's so Jewish and the thing, and I got that guy. That is,
I could do that.
I was like, but this is my kind of person,
Sure.
So then when
it's like when I went to see Black Panther. I was like, people who look like me.
Yeah,
I belong
finally
in Wakanda.
representation. Yeah.
But I thought to
Wakanda
myself,
forever.
I thought to myself, this is the kind of guy that I could follow his path. He got on TV, he's doing it. So when I met you, I was really thrilled. And then I actually asked you early on to be my co-host for 12 Angry Mascots. Do you remember this at all? I emailed you about it.
No, I remember doing stand-up on the show.
Well, initially, I wanted you to be my co-host on this.
Really?
Yes, you were the
don't
first
even
person I
remember
reached
this.
out to.
Wow.
So
Yet another opportunity you squandered.
This goes back to 2008.
I can be the co-host of HQ right now.
Yeah.
But
I'm the Dunkelman of HQ. Unbelievable.
But I ended up finding Neil Janowitz, who I met him. Who do you know Neil? He worked at ESPN.
I remember him
lesser
from the
Jew.
show.
Now he's the editor of Vulture.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, maybe not.
So he's moved up. But we co-hosted 12 Angry Mascots together. He had the sports media contacts. I had the comedy contacts, and we sort of combined
so
the two.
he was the one getting Revis and...
Yeah, Revis, gosh, I don't even know. I forget how that happened. But it probably was Neil, working some PR person. So, that was sort of the idea. I'll bring in the Matt Goldiches, and he'll bring in the Darrell Revises, and we'll have a show.
An even
It's
trade.
An even trade.
Yeah,
an even
split.
bartering
Yes.
system.
No, we also had, Chris Duhon. So, okay, that's more... That's
wow.
That's closer to Goldish stuff.
He's more like
Duhon
the Golditch of
reference.
sports. Yeah.
No, we had some great David Deal, Ryan Grant, Terrell Thomas. I mean, a lot of Giants and Jets guys. But what was it? Jets. Who was their big Jericho Cotchery?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I feel like he still plays for the Steelers or something. I don't
Maybe.
know.
I think he's probably on a roster.
He's probably somewhere.
Yeah.
I always confused him with Lavernius Coles. They were in the same. Yeah. But did you do?
That's a good show on USA, Jericho and Lavernius.
Yeah, there you go.
Rizzoli and Isles.
And you were doing stand up.
Doing stand up, but not a lot. Like I did it heavy my first 6 months when I moved here. I was living with Sean O'Connor, and Nick Maritato, and
Nick Maritato. I
Yeah.
just worked with him this year.
yeah, the three of us were living in Bushwick. I was paying $475 a month, like this
Such a funny
shithole
guy.
apartment. Yeah, it was the most fun I think I've ever had in like a 6 month period. But then I got burnt out. I mean, because it really was every night out till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Doing mics or hanging out at Union Pool or something. Living that like 22-year-old Brooklyn lifestyle, and. Frankly, I was like, I'm not sure if I'm cut out for this. I mean, I'm just like a quiet Jewish kid from the suburbs. Like, I'm just trying to be this guy, but I couldn't.
I had a similar vibe in which, like, for me, I could never do it 5, 6, 7 nights a week. I always had day jobs. I always would, do like stand up a couple nights a week or something at most,
But so I finally 2008 came along, and I was like, okay, let me get a job, and then sort of peel it back a little bit. But then I got restless, and I wanted to do a sports comedy show because I'd seen so many people like Greg Johnson, guys like try sports jokes at these indie, Rich Beefy or something, and they would go over like a lead balloon. So I was like, let me curate a sports comedy show for sports comedy fans. I thought that could be a way in, and we did that at UCB for the first time, and then comics. R.I.P.
That's where I saw it. It was at Comics.
Comics was Julie Alexander, yeah. And then, we went to Gotham Comedy Club for a few shows, but after about 3 years of that, Amani Toomer was our last guest in 2011.
Amani Toomer.
Yeah, that was a fun show. And then I said, you know what, let's just go out on a high note. We sold out the pit, 90 seats, but regardless, we sold it out. I was like, enough of this. But then I got restless and I wanted to do Running Late, so I picked that up in October of that year.
And that's just like a live talk show.
That's just like, forget the sports thing. I mean, Neil and I pitched it. We had a meeting at Comedy Central. We were trying to like get, this was the same year that Norm Macdonald's sports show and the Onion sports show both got canceled.
Right.
No one was like, people were trying sports comedy.
Were late.
We were late and it wasn't working. So, and still, it's hard to get sports comedy working, right?
No.
I mean, it's very
It's
hard.
never been done. I mean,
Well,
it's been done, but it's never
been attempted.
The Daily Show for sports is something that's been pitched for
100
20 years,
yeah.
and nobody's been able to do it.
I mean, the closest thing was probably the
Sports show at Norm.
Well, I was going to say the Dan and Keith Sports Center.
The
Dan Patrick, Keith
Yeah.
Olbermann Sports Center back in the day. Wait, Alex.
Dennis Miller on Monday Night Football.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you pay him the big bucks.
There you go. But and the Sklar's, I mean, podcast.
The Sklar's have cracked it, and they've been doing it so well for so long.
It might just be that's like a limited niche, and it's like a podcast is the most that
Right?
Although now
Cheap Seats was the best.
that's true. The cheap, yeah.
Well, it's hard. I mean, to be nerdy about it, it's hard because the footage and the rights to all of the stuff that you want to make fun of, Daily Show style, it's impossible.
Right.
It's financially impossible.
And I think there's this overlap of like comedy nerds and sports nerds where, well, I would say it's an overlap, but it's an overlap in like the snottiness of it, right? I mean, like if you're a hardcore sports fan, maybe you're not going to want to laugh at.
Yeah. Well, the other part of it too
team.
is athletes. A lot of them, not a sweeping generalization, but a lot of them don't have a sense of humor about themselves.
Right.
Same way in hip hop, like their artists don't want to make fun of. Cred is very important.
Sure. You don't want to look weak.
So
how when you got HQ, how many days away from taking the LSATs were you?
Or how many days away from jumping in front of the L train? Is a better question. I was truthfully moving.
you packed up. You were ready
I
to
was
move.
ready to move to LA because I gave up on New York.
Just to switch things up. You didn't have a job out there.
Yeah, right, exactly. And for so many years, as I saw, Sean O'Connor go, like all these guys that I live with or work with, or all of our friends move to LA.
Yeah.
I was thinking, all right, I'm not going to be the guy who just shows up with a suike's, hops off the bus, and like, come on, LA, make me a star. Like, I want to have a job, bring me there. So I was waiting for writing on a show, whatever it was, and I kept waiting, applying.
You work on stuff with the Sklar's who are out there, right?
Yeah. But I mean, that's not really based there. But the point is, like, I wanted to have a reason to move, and then I realized, you know what? screw it. Like you try New York, just go out there. Maybe because look, Sean, it worked for him. It worked for all these guys.
Yeah.
Who moved out there.
You're just in the game.
You're just in the game. You're being seen more. There's more industry. Whatever it is, it works.
I had the opposite where I did move out there for something specific, and then very shortly after that, I was unemployed and out there for nothing. So it never works out.
But
no matter what, no matter what plan you have,
right.
it never works
There's no
out.
one path to follow. But I thought, look, I've done New York for 10 years. I've gotten the press that you can get here, and let me try LA and see if I can get like a weekly show going with running late, something substantial. But then HQ.
So you have a suitcase. You're packed to go to LA.
I moved out of my apartment. Yeah, I was living at home with my parents. I was like, let me save a couple bucks. And
then did you have a place in LA that you were like?
No, but I was going to move. So I moved out like end of May, and I was going to move in September. I said, let me spend a few months, enjoy my last summer in New York. I had a producer I found out there, and like a booker and a venue, and I was really trying to build that element out there. And then, meanwhile, HQ came, and so starting in June, I was going into Soho every day. I was like, oh, this sucks. So I got in a sublet. I ended up getting a sublet and spending all the money that I was saving.
Yeah.
Right.
But now, I moved to the West Village.
Here's the thing. Obviously, your profile has been growing with the success of HQ, and you've done some pretty big podcasts, and people know your name now, and you get recognized in the street and at Yankees games, as our friend Zach Linder and Alex has told us. But I didn't think you really made it until this week, Purim, when I saw an Instagram from a pretty religious friend of mine, shout out to Isaac Alina, who posted his picture of him dressed up as you for Purim.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a
That's
Purim costume.
I'm a Purim costume. I was a Halloween costume. Yeah. It's nuts. That is, when Halloween happened this past year, because that was still early on in HQ, maybe we had like 40,000 people playing.
Yeah.
There were still 4 or 5 people tweeting me pictures of them dressed as me.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? So the impact it's had, even when we had 100 people playing, there were offices like printing out photos of me and putting it up on their walls. Like, 100 people. So there's some intimacy with the show. I think the fact that it's on your phone, it's almost like a vlog. Why do vloggers get so popular? I've always wondered this.
Yeah.
All these crazy, stupid
the
vloggers.
YouTube stars.
Yeah, these YouTube stars. Because they're in your face
Yeah.
every day, and people grow attached to them.
direct-
Well, it's I think someone said it about. I heard someone quoting Lorne Michaels on a podcast saying that the people who do Update are always the most famous.
They say their name.
People, on Saturday Night Live because they look at the camera and they say their name. And it's like talk show hosts. You feel that connection with them like you wouldn't necessarily with like a movie star or something like
That's
that.
a great point. And this is like another. It's magnified because. I mean, the way they frame it, the vertical phone, you're right up in there.
Yeah.
And people are focused on it so intently for 15 minutes straight.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes HQ different from every other form of media, really. You don't watch SNL or watching the Super Bowl. You're talking to your friends. You're on your phone while you're watching. The phone, which is usually the distraction to what you're watching, is now the focus.
It's the anchor.
Yeah.
And there's a piece of cheese dangling in the front of like maybe I could win $1,000.
Exactly. So it's truly
Or $11.
or 11 cents, but whatever it is, it's. Have you ever heard like? Could you imagine that this is what media was becoming? And
It's insane.
No one thought to do that. Like the live tune-in thing. It's a first.
Well, the ironic thing is that in an age of distraction and also like everybody sort of doing their own thing and they're on their own screen and doing their own world, it's actually found something that connects people where everyone is doing the same thing
At the same time,
At the same
every
time,
day.
it's like appointment viewing, which people had thought was going by the wayside.
The same way Friends was must-see TV.
Yeah.
Right.
You got to tune in. I'm interested.
You are the Gunther of 2018.
I'm interested in the fact that you're hosting a very successful trivia platform, and Matt's whole start of his career was writing for game shows.
Yeah,
That's right. Convergence.
You're trying to give me a job in the future for when things.
No, I was just trying to make a talking point.
No, I have worked on a lot. I loved. And you must have a team of people working writing quiz questions for this. Yeah,
people who worked on Millionaire and worked on other shows.
Yeah, I've always liked writing trivia questions. I've always liked trivia. It's a fun.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where if you meet somebody who doesn't like trivia, they're not a very fun person.
Exactly. I love Snapple facts. Even give me that.
Yeah.
Has a question and an answer like stuck in your head in terms of, wow, I didn't know that before, and now that's a fact that I'm going to know for the rest of my life? Like,
if something comes up in conversation, I'm doing 12 a day, twice a day, so there's a lot of them. But I mean, even recently, which island of the Galapagos Islands is named after a revolutionary figure, historical figure?
I go to Matt on this one.
Guy Fawkes. There's a Guy Fawkes Island.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
But it's like
That's
this
a
tiny
tougher.
little thing.
That's
a
one.
Q12.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
a Q12.
Yeah.
But I mean,
But now you're Cliff Clavin.
right.
Here-
I'll always have a.
Here's kind of a hacky question, but like, was there a point? I mean, okay, well, two-parter. Number one, when you first started doing this, did you think it would be anything? And then number two, was there a point when you realized, like, oh, this is something?
Yeah. So when I first got this, my buddy Nick, who was at The Onion, I met 10 years ago. Again, speaks to the importance of, networking and doing things. I was interning at The Onion for all of 2008. This guy, Nick Gallo, who was like their photo editor, director for the paper, we got friendly there. Stayed in touch on Facebook. 10 years later, he's texting me saying, "Hey, I'm doing this thing with these guys. They're looking for a host for a trivia app. Would you like to come in for it?" I'm like, okay, again, say yes to everything is my advice. So I was like, yeah, sure. I'll audition for this thing I probably won't get because I've never gotten anything that I've auditioned for. And I got the concept. I'm like, okay, so maybe this will hit, and then I can get Taxi TV. And then Elevator
you
TV.
Could be the next Stoop Talk with
with Cat Greenleaf, baby.
Or the gas station
Gas station guy.
Yeah.
Hey, while you're filling up on Pump 3, there's a 2 for 1
I learned a lot of
Powerade.
news from Elevator TV.
Oh, yeah?
I really do. I'm like, wow, look at that headline.
Yeah, there you go.
But that's kind of where I was at. Like, is this really where showbiz is at in 2017? It's an app show. I mean, how wrong I was. I mean, I also thought, to be fair, wow, this is kind of brilliant and innovative, and who knows where it could go. Like,
right.
I did not foresee 2 million people playing.
Any
in
of
3
these
months.
is one of them. It's a lightning in a bottle.
Exactly. Lightning in a bottle is exactly what it
Yeah.
is. But it's Russ and Colin, who founded it, they had the success from Vine.
Yeah.
And they had the chops. They knew what they were doing. They sort of were experimenting with this other app called Hype, and that led to the HQ. And then, between the graphics and the music and the tune-in element and all that, like, they just kind of lightning in the bottle, like perfect storm of media in the moment. And also, because if this happened 2 years earlier, probably wouldn't have caught on. It's just the timing was perfect.
Why not?
I don't know. I think maybe not enough people, maybe the technology wasn't
tech,
quite
yeah.
right, or, the people with smartphones. Like, every year more people have smartphones.
Yeah.
It's just... Man, I don't know what it is, but like the history books will kind of explain it one day. Because I really think we're at this moment in time where
right
it's
after
like Ted Turner. I mean, it's like cable starting.
Yeah.
Now it's a whole new era that we're sitting at the forefront, and it's going to be in 5-10 years. You're going to see everybody. I mean, I can imagine you guys having your own app, right? And it's like tune in.
I don't know how to use apps.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, I almost think I think that it's perfectly timed because of what I was saying before. Like, I think like it's the time where everybody has smartphones, and almost the backlash helps you, where people are craving some sort of like connecting thing. Because I think that
fragmentation.
I think people are starting to realize like, oh, like we're all isolated because of our phones, and I think this is a way. Like, you see people like in my office, like 8 people crowded around doing it, but it's like a group activity.
It's a group activity.
Humans are drawn to shared experience, and this
Yeah.
is a new form of that, where like music festivals and et cetera do it in IRL.
Right.
Virtually, it becomes a shared experience.
Exactly.
So
And people are drawn to it.
So was there a point where you were like, oh, this is like my life has changed? Like, this is like a massive.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, like the Halloween thing was pretty weird, and then, I gotta say, so this article in the Daily Beast came out.
oh, that was crazy.
And that was
Yes.
really a flashpoint in terms of getting the app visibility. But that day, so, I hadn't even read it yet, and I just done the show, and I was biking up, I don't know where I was going, but I was, on the city bike somewhere, and I like stopped at a 14th and University Place, just at the light, and there's a guy at the light waiting, reading the Daily Beast article. I look over, he looks at me, and he's like, is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, man. I hadn't read it yet.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And it was just surreal to be. It was like such a New York moment too, like like you see in a movie.
Let's talk about this, because you can't manufacture this type of publicity. I mean, what happened? They wanted to interview you.
Yeah.
And did you ask permission, or were you just like, oh yeah, sure, I'll.
So, I mean, I had sensed. Look, like it was a friend, like Josh Gondlin reached out. A few people reached out to me saying, hey, we have this friend Taylor who wants to interview you. Mm-hmm. Well, she's doing a piece on HQ, and she wanted a few quotes from you to fill it out for some color, right? And normally, I was forwarding all the media requests just, straight to HQ and saying, you got to handle this. Because I had all these friends coming at me, it's like, okay, I'll help a friend out here.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll talk to her on the phone for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it was. So that's all it was. after the fact, I mentioned to my, to higher ups, by the way, I spoke to Daily Beast, and this is just to give you a heads up. I don't know what happened after that in terms of, it all came out in the article later, but so that was sort of the genesis of it, and it was just going to be a little.
You learn these things.
You learn these things. So it's just so
Well,
crazy.
it ended up being the best thing for it.
I mean, truthfully, looking back on it,
I got to play this game.
Yeah,
they're talking
like,
about
what is this
article.
thing? And then it's just that went viral and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So that was a major point. I mean, Thanksgiving. That was right before Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving was a huge moment for us because all these kids coming home from college, and the kids got into it first. College kids. So they're playing with their parents. It happened to get in Christmas break. And now you have intergenerational.
Purim.
Purim. But Dan Rather played over the holidays with his daughter and grandson.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, that was a flash. I mean, so all these things, you see it, and you're like, holy crap, Dan Rather's playing the game? And like,
Sam Donaldson.
Sam Donaldson's next. Peter Jennings from Beyond
Well,
the Grave.
just wait till we get a score.
Peter Jennings played from the grave.
He
Wow.
did, yes.
He was smoking a cigarette, and he just was like, I'm going to play
What happened to
HQ.
Sam Donaldson? I love Sam Donaldson.
I loved Sam Donaldson.
Yeah,
Kevin
but-
Neal and Sam Donaldson on SNL
Yeah.
was like my favorite thing.
And the whole McLaughlin group on SNL.
The best. Wrong. I want to talk about another article. The strategist that you did, the 10 things I can't live without.
Okay.
Yeah, that got some press.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Number 3, the bespoke condoms.
Yeah, the bespoke condoms.
Yeah, I get them tailor cut at on High Street in London. I fly out
Tailor
there.
cut?
No.
I fly out there every month.
Taylor Cutt was my favorite guy on Friday Night Lights.
They measure me fit to measure, and it's no. But yeah, no. The guy they emailed me about this thing, 10 things to live without. I'm like, I'm not a materialistic guy. I shop at the Salvation Army. Like
Yeah.
I could pretty much live without most things, except like a toothbrush. I mentioned, all right, toothbrush, nail clippers. I got to clip my nails.
Yeah.
I mean, those are things that didn't make it into the
Well,
article. They're a little
look,
boring.
yeah.
all I'm saying is you're very brave to just like say it.
I mean, look,
You're out there.
I'm not gonna. What am I gonna walk around saying? I'm like Macklemore, walk into the club like, "What up? I got a big."
Yeah. Or like John Hamm on the Upper West Side in his linen pants.
John Hamm can't help it. He's just got it.
You
out
have
there.
to own it.
You have to own it.
Your
And,
other option is for people
to disappoint people.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
I'm just surprised you wear condoms because I think I don't wear them.
Well, that was the biggest lie of the whole thing. Yeah, no, that's
You don't need a bunch of quiz babies running around.
Oh my
Quiz
God.
baby.
So yeah, I mean, this article mentioned that you're just open about it. You just you need special.
I need special
Special
care.
wear.
Does it come up a lot on dates?
It truly hasn't. I mean, it's maybe it's in the back of their mind. Look, first of all, that
I
article
can't
didn't-
wait to see it.
Article didn't get very far, I don't think.
Okay,
I mean,
okay, all right.
Although People Magazine did tweet it. And that
People
was true.
Magazine
That was
picked it
where
up.
I saw it, and I was going to mention. Yeah,
People Magazine's tweeting about my cock. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell is going on? That was another moment. But look, I blame.
That's the touch point.
That's the touch point. But I blame Judaism. I mean, I blame. It goes back to my circumcision. I mean, the Moyle. There was a botched circumcision. If you want to be truthful about it.
are you being serious,
Yeah.
or you think?
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
the guy he cut off my penis and left the foreskin.
The Moyle.
Yeah.
Blame
Wow.
the Moyle.
Blame the Moyle.
Yeah,
So that's where I'm at.
yeah. Do you know the guy's name? Should we go to his house?
Wait,
and
one
fuck him
last
up?
question. One last question on this
Should we go
topic.
fuck 'em
Did
up?
that condom company reach out to you after the article?
I got 2 different condom companies sending me boxes of condoms. After that.
Wow.
So I'm good for the next 70 or 80 years.
That's great.
Yeah.
Good job.
Okay, yeah.
Nice for you.
It was all a ploy to get free condoms.
Something I like to do on the podcast from time to time when we have a guest who knows you. Like when we have a guest on that again, like I said, I know of you, but we've never interacted.
right.
But I know a lot of people who know you. So somebody sent me a text when I told them you were coming on. I'm going to read you the text. You have to guess who it came from.
Oh boy.
Ready?
Zach Linder.
No. For your Scott Rogo episode, you should talk about our ambush talk show. Ask about what happened on the Bouncer episode. A Jack Mark on steroids freaked out and threatened to fuck the entire crew up. Who would that be?
Is it one of the guys we effed girls? Because they were the special guests.
It is not. It is neither of those. The hosts.
Corinne or Christina?
It's
Okay.
not Corinne or Christina.
Would this be a Mark Effman?
Close.
Would this be a someone who worked on that show? Oh boy.
I'll give you a hint.
I mean, a lot of people worked on that show.
He sings songs about dicks
sings songs about dicks.
and other things.
I mean, it's not Cypher.
no.
'cause he was the sidekick.
John Murray.
John Murray. Oh yeah,
Past
it was running the
guest.
show.
Stucky
Yeah.
Murray.
Does
Best
our
guess.
theme song.
Okay, I was.
Yeah.
Okay, if you said Fuxedo, I would have gotten it.
There, that would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
Murray.
is the inventor of a tearaway tuxedo.
Which I own.
You own
I
a
actually
tuxedo.
bought the last the last extant copy of that from John Murray himself.
Those dudes are entrepreneurs. They're pre-Shark Tank.
I think those guys should actually get that going, and they could be millionaires.
It's amazing. But so what's the backstory on this?
Start talking
on this situation where you almost got fucked up.
Yeah, so this was an ambush talk show that John was show running. We did 8 episodes for Go 90.
Yeah,
which is so named because 90 people are watching it, I think. Mm-hmm. It's out there. You can watch it. But that episode in particular was the premise was we would ambush the guests, right? And so like these 2 bouncers were showing up to a club looking to interview to be a bouncer. They're prospective employees.
Funny.
So instead of being interviewed by the manager of the club, like they walk in and it's me with the talk show set. There's an audience.
I love it.
Cypher Sound's my sidekick. You know, Christina and Corinne were the celebrity guests. So these 2 bouncers come on set and they say, "Come on down." And, you know, the lights and cameras and everything. And I ask them about their careers, crazy thing you ever saw, bouncing, all that. But this one guy was super cool. This like 6'10" Jamaican dude, incredible. This other guy who came in, sat down. Started asking him some questions. He was a little shy about it. And then in the middle of answering a question, he started answering. He goes, "You know what? Fuck this." He's like, "I was not told this is what," you know, because they were told that there's be some kind of documentary going on just so they can sign a release. They weren't told they were being ambushed on talk show. He's like, "I wasn't told this was the deal." And he just got up and he's like, "Don't fuck." And I guess there was some altercation with some of the production staff. I mean, I was sitting at the desk, but to get him out of there, they're trying to sign a release. He wouldn't sign anything.
Wow.
And that was...
I almost got punched in the face on Boiling Points by like a Chelsea boy trying to get a release signed. So
the release signing is the hardest part.
It's not easy.
Thankfully, they were all able to call on another bouncer to...
Thankfully, John Murray is like 6'8", 250...
Yeah, right.
Jacked to the gills.
Size of Shaggy. Let's talk about your day as the host of HQ. Is that okay?
Yeah.
What day from this week you want to pick? You want to just pick a typical day in the life of
the last 2 have been a little atypical because I didn't do the night show. I took off the night shows, but let's take Tuesday if I can remember that far back.
Okay. What time did you wake up?
That I could tell you precisely because I got this Fitbit last week.
Mm-hmm. Hey now,
and this is the best thing. It tells you how long you sleep. And your stages of sleep, your REM, your light, your deep sleep, how many times you were awake. So I can check the phone, but I think it was probably around 9:30.
Alarm
like
or
no alarm? I haven't used an alarm in probably a decade.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Off the dome.
Oh man, that's the best part about doing this business. You don't need an alarm.
Yeah,
that's why I got into it. Unless you have to be up early for something.
Yeah. What about? What's the earliest you have to be somewhere for any?
11:30.
And there's no chance you would ever sleep past that.
I know. I don't. That's the other thing. I wish I could sleep late, but I'm a terrible sleeper. So my body clock just wakes me up around 8:30, 9:30 every day.
Are you out of bed immediately?
I'm not the kind of person who just lingers in bed. I get up pretty quickly and probably check the phone. Definitely use the toilet. I pee a lot during the middle of the night.
You're up.
Oh, really?
I'm
up 3 or 4 times a night.
Does the Fitbit track that?
The Fitbit should track how many times I have to bend over to clean the urine off the toilet, like off the floor, because I missed the seat.
You have to pee on the Fitbit for it to register.
But truly, that's my biggest problem. And thankfully, I live alone. But because I don't want to turn the lights on, so I'm just paying.
Are you able to get back to sleep after the
using sonar
after the inner midnight 3 a.m. pee? That's always my issue. If I wake up and I got to pee, I'm up for an hour.
That's an issue. That's definitely an issue. So, you can see. You go right back?
You're right back?
Back. I have an appointment with a sleep doctor today at 3:45. This is a problem I have.
Oh, wow. Apnea?
For years. Well, I don't know. I did a sleep study a month ago, and I've been waiting for the results. I'm finally going to get them today.
They're asleep at the wheel.
But they monitored me. They put me in the whole thing. I had the whole setup.
Wow. Okay, so you're up?
I'm up.
Coffee, breakfast?
No coffee. I'll do some cereal or eggs. But the office was catering breakfast for a while.
Oh, yeah,
that recently stopped. But no, they scaled back a little bit. But anyway,
it gets costly.
It gets costly.
What's your cereal of choice?
I've got the Trader Joe's Sweet.
Ooh. Wait, Puffins?
Puffins on occasion. I rotate through.
Puffins are good.
I've got the Very Berry clusters going. I've got the granola, the purple maize cornflakes. Have you seen this? They're purple cornflakes.
It's like the JetBlue potato chips.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the novelty. But I think it's healthier.
Yeah.
That's the whole Trader Joe's slogan. It's like, we think it's healthier.
Wink.
And then so you're up.
I'm up. I'm I bought an exercise mat that I'm trying to do my 7-minute workout every day on, but I get to 2 minutes out of it. I do some sit-ups and push-ups maybe. And then I'll go on the phone or the computer, which I don't have internet in my apartment yet, so now it's just the computer or the phone rather. And, check the mail, do the whole thing. Go through your daily ablutions with the whole Twitter, Instagram.
You getting a lot of DMs.
Yeah, and there's so
you gotta just wade
that's the
through
thing
those
now.
DMs.
I mean, for so long I've been on Twitter and nothing. I was sitting at 3,000 followers for 5 years.
Right.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I have 87,000 in just the 4-5 months.
You got to turn notifications off your phone. When
I turned. Oh yeah, they've been off, but I still check the. I still check them. I mean, for the most part.
Are you on the dating apps?
No.
Were you at any point?
In the last, not with HQ. No.
No. Okay.
No. But that's I'm.
You're.
It's very difficult to actually date.
I'd
be
like
honest.
to put you on JDate for a day.
Oh my God, it would be. Can you imagine?
Just crush
just
it.
JSwipe. I'd be like a girl on JSwipe. I'd be like a girl on a dating app. Because every girl on dating apps, they click yes, they like somebody, it's an instant match. I've noticed this. I've done research.
You would have carpal tunnel of your swiping finger.
Yeah.
American Swiper.
What? There you go. What time you head to the office?
I mean, around depends. I'll get there at 10:30, 11,
And
10.
You walk in the office, you like Norm from Cheers?
We love your Cheers references.
I know, second one. It's a weird thing.
Was there another one? What was the
Yeah,
first?
Cliff Clavin.
People have their heads down
Yeah.
normally. And,
What do you like, Coach? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I kind of try to tiptoe in.
All right, good.
I mean, look, it's an office at the end of the day.
Smacking interns
No one
in the
goes,
ass.
hey,
I'm kidding.
Scotty!
Yeah,
It's not like that at all.
And you city bike there? Did you say?
Now I can walk.
Oh,
it's
great.
great. I'm a 15-minute walk, or I can city bike. But
Does the HQ app
Gotta get my steps in.
have its own office, or is it in the offices of something else?
it's an office. I guess the company that started
Right.
it all.
Yeah.
Like Boiler Room.
No, I mean no. Oh, you're saying it's like a WeWork? No,
Yeah.
it's its own office.
No, yeah. But
Yeah.
you walk in, the front door says HQ, or the front door
no,
says
no.
Okay.
So you get there, and then when you settle in, are you at a computer, or are you they take you right in to get hair and makeup and read the questions?
The
and all
makeup
that?
and hair comes around 2:00. So no, I in the morning I'm working on the questions and
Got it.
preparing the quiz, and then we have a little production meeting, and then it just I mean I have the luxury of just really trying to get into it and come up with the intro and everything, come up with an outro, try to think of
Right.
some Marx Brothers quote or Monty Python quote or whatever I
Right.
want to close with.
Rick Ross lyric.
Or Rick Ross lyric. I haven't used any Rick Ross lyrics yet, but I'm open to. What's your favorite epigram or comedy quote or something? What do you like to? I mean, I go.
I'd be all if I were in your shoes, it'd be a lot of Seinfeld quotes.
Yeah, I've done Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seinfeld. A lot of Simpsons.
That's what I lean on.
My favorite is better to be king for a night than schmuck for a lifetime.
There you go.
I've used that more than once.
Yeah.
That and rabbi quotes.
Does God have a big toe?
It's cool to hear that you do so much prep for each episode, and I think that was it like that way from day one, or is it now that it's become bigger, you're taking it more seriously,
Yeah,
or do
I
you
mean,
think it was like?
I think it's definitely evolved. In the beginning, it was much more, we'll just go in there and riff and see what happens. And I guess, admittedly, it was because the stakes were much lower, and okay, who's watching this thing, and let's just kind of screw around and have fun. But that was great too, and I still bring that element to it. But now, when there are 1 million people watching, I don't want to come in. Now I feel it's like doing a stand-up show without looking at your notes beforehand or writing.
Sure.
It's like if you're for 1 million people, you wouldn't want to just all right. Let's wing it up there tonight. Let's see how it goes. So I want to have something in the
There's
hopper.
expectations. There's
Yeah.
expectations that you're going to come on and drop a couple good references in amongst the questions.
Right.
You have another meal before you go live at 3?
Yeah, there's a little lunch. Again, it's been when they cater. It's fantastic. Oh, the other it might have been Tuesday when I actually brought in a cronut
Hey,
for
look
the
at
first
you.
time.
Fancy.
Because we're near that Dominic Ansel bakery where
yeah.
the cronut started. So I walked by. Usually, in my mind, there's been lines at the door for 5 years. No lines anymore. You can just go and get
The
a cronut now, guys.
Yeah, it's like Munchkins. You just walk in.
They're still $7 each, but you could go and get one.
Yeah.
So I bought them for the office, and that was great. Delicious, by the way. Really good. Raspberry cream.
I speaking of food, I heard you on Get Up on This, our friend Jensen's podcast. And, usually people go on there, and the premise of the podcast is the guest comes on and names 3 things that...
I wasn't familiar with that podcast
either. The listeners should get up on.
Right.
Things that people don't know about yet. And some people go real hard, like try to be esoteric and try to, game the system and be like, I have something that nobody knows about that only I know about.
My little brother's band,
You went on and you were so earnest with your picks, and you were like, Kava.
Yeah.
I thought it was the funniest thing. I was like crying laughing. You just like earnestly saying, my number 2 pick of the podcast, this place Kava, which is like a Mediterranean Chipotle. It's everywhere.
Is it everywhere?
It's becoming.
I've never heard of it.
It's starting to be everywhere. They're popping up.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic restaurant. There's one near my apartment. My wife and I go all the time. I love it.
And it's
spicy
the best
feta
deal.
is so great. Yeah, and then you
That's
got
so
real
funny.
Jewy. And then you got real Jewy about it.
For me, the Mediterranean Chipotle is Nanush.
Nanush, but that's more falafel.
Oh, okay.
This place is like meatballs and chicken and
but unlike Chipotle, like they don't charge you for add-ons. I mean, you can fill that thing up. You walk in with 5 pounds of food. It's lunch and dinner.
It was so because people are coming with like movies and albums,
like French
and like
New Wave,
dope sneakers that nobody knows about, and like appliances and gadgets, and you just roll up and you're like Quiznos. You guys need to get up on Quiznos. I thought it was great. I texted my wife immediately. It was very funny. So thank you for that.
So how long does the thing last at 3? I mean, how long is it?
It really just goes 3 to 3:15.
Yeah,
it's 12 questions. And today I'm going to try to get a little earlier so I can make my appointment at the Sleep Dogs.
Sure.
But no, it's a burst of energy. It's like nonstop, verbal
You're
diarrhea.
doing a set,
and you're not a caffeine guy. So
okay, so that's the other thing. Now I've gotten into like these alternative to coffees, like yerba mate, and they got and matcha. Oh,
yeah.
Got these matchas now.
Yeah,
love it. And kombucha, that's a little energy burst.
So a little energy
burst. But honestly, I don't feel like even when I had my first coffee, which was about 2 years ago. I never drank coffee.
Yeah, I'm not a coffee guy either.
Yeah, I had my first coffee with the Sklar brothers in Seattle. Because I figured, when in Seattle. And it was, I didn't feel that, like, I thought you were going to hear that rush, and whatever it is that people say, you get hyped up on Java.
Right.
And I didn't feel it.
It would be funny if you had your first coffee with the Sklar brothers, and you got so hyped up that a twin appeared. Like that like a second
separated
Scott.
from me.
Yeah.
Like, this was the coffee.
I had my first
Succubus.
coffee in Seattle with the Sklar brothers over Detlef Schrempf. Random references.
Sure. Yeah. It was
with their dueling
Olden Polynice walked by.
Oh my God! Have you heard they're like dueling Carson with the with bringing in NBA?
Yeah.
Best.
It was.
The Microwave Johnson's going to take a dump on.
You got you drank so
Sabonis.
much coffee in Seattle with the Sklar brothers that Cortez Kennedy appeared.
Corliss Williamson.
Steve
Largent.
So what happens after the first episode? What happens after the first HQ?
After the first HQ, I check Twitter for 40 minutes.
Do you stay at the office? Or
Yeah. I'm at the office pretty much all the way through.
Are people hitting you right after the first one goes live? Like, that question was whack. That's, like, what are the comments?
There's all sorts of comments. I mean, people, it's Twitter. It's a cesspool.
Exactly.
And But I found it's majority positive.
Got it.
About HQ. I mean, if there's people still sometimes have issues, although that's gotten a lot better with the technology. People saying they get there's a glitch or a lag or something, but that's actually the engineering team has been so phenomenal to get this thing to the point where 1 million people are playing and it's pretty much seamlessly, flawlessly executed.
There's glitches and lags and everything.
Exactly. And I was at
the Super Bowl went black twice.
Yeah,
I know. Alex has an ulcer.
Yeah. One time Alex forgot to start recording. We're 10 minutes in.
Oh God.
Mark Webb.
He hasn't been recording this.
Oh jeez.
So you're there straight on through until 9, or
pretty much? I mean, it's maybe I'll have dinner with a friend of mine or something. I mean,
you can
Tuesday.
leave and come back.
Yeah. I'm not.
You just go to the nearest kava.
The nearest Cava. I haven't been in a while, man. I should go.
Spicy feta, buddy.
I know.
So good.
Well, they sent me some free cards now.
Oh, they heard you?
And they heard me in a beanie. But I think I left the cards at my parents' house. I got to go find them.
That's good.
I'll be in Westchester this weekend. By the way, if you want to catch me, see me in Harrison at
I would
my
just
parents' house.
make a Chick-fil-A reference in hopes that they send me a year.
Make it now.
Yeah.
Someone at work, we got we had a joke making fun of this new Michelob Ultra organic beer, and it was pretty
and then
much. They send it, even though like we trashed it. Yeah.
When I was at Fallon, I mean, anytime anything was said, it showed up in the lobby the next day.
By the way, this guy Ian you work with, what's going on there?
Oh, the lunch. Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about what's Ian eating. Ian is a young man. He's in his mid-20s.
This is really
disturbing. And he's
a young man.
He has a young man's stomach. I don't think he eats breakfast, and so he eats. There's a couple reasons. First of all,
We gotta have him on.
I've talked about this, but we should. Our office is a very early lunch eating office, mostly because
The schedule.
and so you don't want to run too close. We have a 1:30 deadline, and if you're leaving to get lunch close to that, you run into it, and also the lines get longer. So people start going at like 11:30. Sometimes he'll go earlier if he's hungry because the cafeteria opens at 11:30. So earliness. The stomach of like a 20-something-year-old kid where he can eat anything and not be affected by it. And then on top of that, some weird eating habits where like dipping peanut butter and jelly in broccoli cheese soup or things like that, seem weird, but
No.
I know. I look at your Instagram and I think to myself, like, well, why are you documenting this?
it's actually become quite a sensation. I'm very surprised.
Dude, I saw him live. I saw him up at the Writers Guild Awards, and I was like starstruck. Yeah. Like I didn't care about anybody else in the room, but I saw the lunch guy, and I was like, Matt, it's the guy.
Yeah.
So what are you eating? Yeah.
Yeah. He also, and I did post about this, but when we were nominated for an Emmy, he brought a bag of was it Snickers? He brought a bag of mini Snickers.
Well, now he's doing a bit.
Snack on. Yeah, no, it was like legit. It was like
That's quite a feed bag you're working on.
As a 38-year-old, like I would have like the
Alex,
idea of, like,
that one?
I'm gonna bring a trail mix or like a banana with me to keep my energy up.
Yeah.
And for him, it's just a bag of Snickers.
The bootlegger episode.
Yeah.
That's quite a feed bag you're working on. What? There's enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Brody.
So it's a long day then. You're there.
Yeah. And then, 9 o'clock show comes around. You do that one. And then, maybe I'll, again, like maybe I might.
Can you go home and come back for the 9?
Oh, yeah. I'll do that sometimes. But like, this over the weekend after the 9 o'clock show, I went to Williamsburg for a karaoke party, so I can still try.
So let's talk about this. It's 7 days a week.
Yeah.
How do you decide which ones you're doing, or do they decide for you, or like? I
have like my 8 off days. A week. I have the equivalent of weekends, but it's just you get your 8 off days a month, so I can take those and do that.
So you said you didn't do the 2-night ones the last 2 nights.
Right.
Why? What was the reason?
If you really want to get particular about it, I didn't want to take 2 nights off in a row, but I thought I was seeing the Zombies on Wednesday night. This band,
the 60s
Zombies,
band?
the 60s band. They're playing at City Winery. They 3 nights in a row.
Yeah.
Sold out, but I had the connection, got tickets. So I thought I was going Wednesday, and then Wednesday fell through. We can go Thursday. You can go Thursday.
Yeah.
So I had taken off Wednesday, and I said, "Oh, by the way, guys, I can also do." It's too late. We booked the other host, so I had to take 2. But I saw him last night, and it was great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're a big music fan.
Yeah.
One of your other picks on the podcast was
Landlady,
like a college band.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
You really are like Carson. You have the confidence to be like, I'm going to let somebody sub today. I'm not worried about my place here. I'm not going to.
Well, you have to take 8 days off, right? You can't.
I guess. I mean, I don't have to, but
you need it for mental health.
Yeah.
What's the most days in a row you've ever hosted HQ?
It's where Jay Leno does the off days.
Yes. From his car.
Yeah, from his 1920s goofy car.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Etzel.
Over the summer, I was pretty much. I mean, we're doing it every day, unless I had. My sister got married in Scotland in July. I went there for a few days, but it was. Yeah, thank you. But it also was 5 days a week to begin with, and then we started doing the weekends.
Yeah.
But I mean, I honestly love it, and I don't. In a perfect world, I could do it every day, twice a day, 5 times a day.
Yeah, if you have a 9 p.m. and you have a date, you got to date around it.
Yeah, that's why the dating is so hard, because of the timing,
right?
And also just because I can't. I mean, I don't know how you do. I don't know how anybody does it. You guys both in this business.
Yeah.
I mean, does your wife ever get annoyed? Either of you guys, like that you're doing a podcast or you're writing on a show. You got to go to the SAG Award. Like, do they get it?
I am such a homebody, which is part of the reason why comedy didn't work out for me in terms of performing. I'm such a homebody that I'm home most nights.
Yeah.
So I can work whatever I got to do for work is work, and then I'm usually home.
My wife is generally very. If I'm like I have to do work, she's like, do it, go. Like don't.
Robin is especially
and
wonderful
also I do try to organize things where I like. I'm very planned. I look at my calendar where I go like, okay, like I have a full-time job, I have a kid, I try not to do more than like 1 or 2 evening things per week, or try not to do it like more than 2 nights in a row,
Right,
where
right.
I'm just like, okay, I know.
Because with the Sklar's, I mean, being on the road with them for 2 years now, doing the podcast, which is going to come out in April. I'm so excited for this on Audible. Finding the Funny.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
tremendous.
They've been talking about, yeah, of course.
10 episodes, all these different cities, but being with them in these really intimate moments when they're on the phone with their kids or FaceTime with their wives, and like it sucks to be away from their family for 3-4 days even. And they got homework, they're helping the kids with their homework over the phone and all this stuff, and you realize like this is. If you're in this business and you're doing that, like this is sort of par for the course, and you have to find a spouse that gets that.
Yeah.
And
but
isn't
there's also trade-offs. I mean, they don't have to go to an office every day for the rest of their lives, and so it's like
true.
there are a lot of days where they can pick their kids up at school at 3:00, and people with normal jobs can't. So
Right,
it's like
right.
you figure it out.
right.
Yeah, they get to have fake phone conversations with Christoph Waltz.
Yeah.
So
How'd they choose 3 and 9 as the times at HQ?
I don't know. I think it's just a matter of 3:00. It's noon in LA. You got to be conscious of the fact that
yeah.
you're doing this worldwide.
business
even.
intelligence.
Business, yeah.
I'm
And then
sure they research
I'm
it.
sure.
I'm sure they get analytics.
9 p.m., 6 p.m. You're probably in the car, stuck in traffic in LA, or you're kind of getting ready to go to bed in the East Coast. So it's a decent time. I think.
When do you get to bed? Well, on Tuesday, when did you get to bed? And then when generally do you? Are you like
Tuesday,
turning? Are you turning it
it's
off?
Generally around midnight. Between I'd say midnight and 1 every night.
Yeah.
For some reason, I just don't. I can't like go to bed before that. I mean,
Well, you're
sometimes-
living on your own. You're living by yourself, which is wonderful, right?
Yeah.
That's the
well,
best.
yeah. I mean, it's not a great apartment. I kind of
Right.
want to move already.
Okay, I got it.
It's just like this.
You go home and watch Jeopardy, which you
I don't.
DVR.
I don't want. I don't have cable or internet right now. I
Yeah,
mean,
you got to get that.
But part of me is thinking to myself, don't get it. Because it's
Yeah.
A, it's expensive, and B,
It'll
I
be
can
really
have
healthy.
I can work at the office, leave the work there. I don't want to bring work home with me. And then what am I going to watch? I'm not going to watch TV.
Yeah, you can watch pretty much anything you need
Catch
to
up on
your
reading
phone.
the classics.
Yeah.
Just see it all through GIFs on your phone.
Yeah.
Right.
I
I
wanna-
can read Moby Dick through GIFs.
We have get one more thing, and then we'll get to the.
Oh, but well, we could do it after the. But I just wanted to go back to Crowd Goes Wild for 2 seconds and
Yeah.
see if you have a good Regis Philbin story. This was a sports show.
Mm-hmm.
This was an attempt at like a sports. Was it daily?
It was a daily live show at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Which, you can argue,
On
is that the best time?
Fox Sports, right?
On Fox Sports.
And it was like a
Fox
panel
Sports 1.
panel show talking about sports.
Regis Philbin, Jason Gay, Wall Street Journal reporter, Trevor Price, two-time NFL champion, Katie Nolan.
Katie Nolan, the launch pad for Katie Nolan.
For her
Yeah,
career.
yeah.
Michael Costa. Michael Costa, now on The Daily Show.
Costa, upcoming on the
Upcoming
Sorry
guest.
I've Been So Busy podcast.
And
Very
let's not
funny guy.
forget, her name was...
She was a British woman,
yes,
a blonde
it's
woman.
like Josie, no, Gemma Thompson.
Georgie.
There you go.
George. I'm like Regis
I was
now.
going to say
George.
Gemma sounds like a British
Gemma.
woman.
Right, but
so
George-
how was
George-
Regis?
Oh man, Regis. I mean, he's just the best. He's like this living legend who's just totally
All stereotypes.
all stereotypes true. Like his personality on camera is the same off camera. I mean, he called me Pogo, Yogo. Like he didn't know Rogo. Like he couldn't figure out
never
Rogo.
gets your name right.
Pogo. Isn't that like a '70s like soft rock band? There's this. I mean, being in his dressing room before these shows, like writing his monologues. This is what I would do. Seeing him topless, scarring me for life. Yeah, there's some sag going on there.
I'm just taking a picture of the podcast. That's
But
amazing that you
he's-
saw
I've seen Regis topless.
Regis topless.
And I've lived to tell about it.
That should be in your Twitter bio.
That's sort of so my bio that I've sort of, when people ask for a bio,
Sure.
I don't really have a serious one. I'm trying to figure out how to write a real one.
That should go in.
In the meantime, it says like Scott Rogowsky has written tasteful abortion jokes for Gilbert Gottfried. Seen Regis Philbin half naked, and
If Regis saw you on the street, would he immediately go, Pogo?
he might. I don't know. It's been a few years
You
since I've
spent
seen
some
him.
time with
We did
him.
have lunch once after the fact. I wanted to catch up. That was great.
Like
Like
just
actual
the
lunch,
two
just
of
the
you.
two of us
In a restaurant.
In a restaurant.
Wow.
In his apartment. Yeah.
He's just telling you stories.
I mean, the guy is a font of just showbiz. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy started doing talk shows in San Diego, like
He's
in
a
the
legend.
50s, in the 60s.
Yeah.
He was the Joey Bishop sidekick.
I gotta go.
I gotta go.
That's great, man.
We always end by doing the blow off, where we ask somebody a time recently when they've blown somebody off or made up an excuse to get out of something. Do you have one recently that you've done?
I mean, there's so many. There's so many. I mean, I wouldn't say it's invalid excuse, but I blew off your live podcast.
Yeah. You're supposed to do our live episode.
I was, and I'm very sorry.
It's fine. We understand. You're a very in-demand guy right now.
But I will say, when Alex reached out about it, I said, yeah, I'm good. And this was like in January. I'm like, sure, it's 4 months from now. Yeah, I have nothing going on. But if something were to come up, I would have to,
Absolutely. So, yeah, we're doing a show as part of the New York City NYC Podfest.
Yeah.
And you got a better gig.
It just pays.
It is a better night.
Yeah.
It's a gig that
You were
pays.
honest.
Again, this is like Crunch. No judgment zone.
We've been very... we
get it.
We're very pro-honest blow-off.
Yeah, honest bluff.
Making up lies and excuses,
No.
it just gets you into more trouble.
He's
Exactly.
hosting the AVN Awards.
That's right. That's the bottom line.
Is that real?
No, I kind of wish.
You would be great.
Oh, God.
The pun situation with you hosting the AVNs would be amazing.
Can you tell us what the gig is or no?
Yeah, I'm going to be at the University of Michigan.
Oh,
wow.
we should go do that.
Hail to the... I know
Did
that
you go?
song.
You went there? Or
No.
Duke?
No, Matt went to Brown.
Brown, right.
Temple.
Sorry, Temple, okay.
But I had camp counselors who went to Michigan, so I learned the fight song. I know all about the food on campus.
Really? Yeah, Michigan is...
I had a counselor who read us Bo Schembechler's biography every night before we
my
went to sleep.
God.
Yeah.
My counselor was Gerard Bunch.
Wow.
My camp counselor, yeah.
I was on the
Brandon Graham was
By
on
the
my
way,
mind.
Desmond Howard.
I'm on the verge of like a great pun. Something, but I couldn't quite crack it.
Let's
but it's
crack
something
it.
like Avraham, Yitzchak, Rachel, and Trivka.
Rivka?
Yes.
Like trivia?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That was bad.
Trivka.
Okay.
How about
All
the Tevye of trivia?
The Tevye of trivia. That's good. There you
That's
go.
good.
Yeah. Or
How about Yitz
What's,
Smallcock?
How about Belle Triv DeVoe?
yeah.
Belle Triv DeVoe. That's a good one.
There you go. I should write for you
Like a grande drip with 2 packets of trivia.
Trivia extract?
Yeah. This has been so fun. We have to get you
Triv
out of
Tyler.
here. Triv Tyler. There,
Ooh.
you're way better at these.
Go for the libs.
My favorite 90s sitcom, Triving Single.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We are Triving
Yeah.
Single in a 90s kind of world. Anyway, I was a big Queen Latifah fan.
Yeah.
The Sisterhood of the Trivia.
The Triveling Pants.
Triveling pants.
Yeah.
There
The
we go.
Yaya Sisterhood?
Yeah.
Yaya Sisterhood?
And we got to get Scott out of here. Anything else before we go?
I'm just thinking of puns now.
Yeah, I know.
How's your wife, Jamie Siskin, whose friend
She's-
Lily Kerneman I dated?
She's great. Oh, I was not going to say her name, but yeah, you dated Lily Kerneman, one of her
She's
best
also
friends, one
married.
of our best friends. She's married with a beautiful daughter,
serious?
Evan.
And she lives in
Yeah.
New York?
Yeah, lives in New York.
I haven't seen her in 9 years.
You guys dated.
dated.
Yeah.
Nobody beats the quiz.
Nobody beats the quiz.
No,
Nobody.
Clearly, I'm not the first one to do that.
Lily's doing great, and she sends her best.
Wow.
We had dinner. I told her you were coming on the podcast.
It's funny. She also dated my friend Eli. I was the second to date her in my friend group. Even
This is some serious Jewish
this
dating.
is serious.
We're doing it.
Give us
Lily and Kerneman.
the plugs real quick.
The plugs. The New York Podfest that I won't be part of.
No.
Yeah, April 8th,
April 8th.
Sunday.
Plug you
HQ.
guys.
People should download
No,
HQ.
HQ. It's a free app. Live twice a day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Eastern. Go to the App Store. Go to the Google Play Store. Free. HQ. Type it in. Allow notifications. We give out money. $20,000 maybe this.
How does the money arrive?
You know.
Armored truck.
Okay.
Yeah. No, PayPal. But also running late, March 12th at the Gramercy Theater. It's the talk show that I do with Dan Rather.
The guests you book.
HQ player, Dan Rather.
Dan Rather, Michael Ian Black.
The guests you're able to book that you've consistently been able to book. It's so impressive. You're such a hustler. I love it. You can also find Scott at kava.com. Just click on the menu drop down.
What are you on?
/ topless Regis.
What are you on Twitter and Instagram and stuff?
That's Scott Rogowsky. Okay. Finally got my name.
ROGOWS.
Why?
Anything Scott's forgetting?
Yeah, let's see.
April 2nd.
April 2nd. Yeah.
What's April 2nd?
Another running late
You
show
don't
at
just give
Gramercy.
the date. You know, you're not just supposed to name the date.
Jesus and Marrow.
Well, Jesus and Mara, Mark Summers from Double Dare.
That's great. Well, Deez
Wow.
and Mara are good. They're buddies of mine. I worked
nice.
with them. They're great. You'll have a blast. You got to figure out what you're going to put in your rainbow.
Yeah, I got to figure a lot of things. We're going to talk about the whole AK. I have their bodega hive. It's on me on Twitter for this AK. They think I'm biting off their AKAs.
I love it.
Which, like they came up with that first.
Yeah. Well, thanks for
Thank
doing
you
this,
so much.
man.
It's been super fun, and
You
congratulations
guys are great,
on
man. The
everything.
golds. This is great. I'm sorry I missed the live show, but I'm glad I got to do this.
No, this is great. We really got to.
Great Lily Kernerman drop.
We really caught up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay
Stay
busy.
busy.
Stay busy, bro.
Whenever I get with her, say I'm busy. And I'm gonna hit you later 'cause I'm busy.
get busy with her.